Hi guys, I'm back. It's still the day before Valentine's and my anniversary, and I told you I was going to cook a real quick meal. So I've started, but I want to show you what we're having and what I'm doing. As you can see here, let me pull you a little bit closer. We are doing tonight steaks, and we're doing chicken breast. I don't normally eat chicken breast, but this recipe for this chicken breast is the best chicken breast you'll ever have. But what we're gonna do first, we're gonna almost cook these the same way. They just won't be seasoned the same way with the same herbs, okay? So on my steaks, the only thing I'm gonna do is put some salt, pepper, seasoning salt. And I hope you can see me doing this. Salt, pepper. This is really quick, guys. Seasoning salt. Just a little bit of that. A little bit of garlic salt. And then what I do is I take my hands and just kind of rub it in so that it evens out on your meat. I don't want some of my meat salty in some places and not enough in other places. I flip them over, wipe my hands off real quick, and I'm gonna put the same on the back of it. And then I'm gonna let these steaks sit until I'm ready to sear them. And like I said, we're gonna do these both the same way. We're gonna sear both meats and we're gonna put both of them in the oven for just a little while. Okay, steaks are seasoned. That's all we need on our steaks right now. Okay, we sit on the side. I'm gonna wash my hands real good. I'm gonna come around the other way so I'm not all in your face. And then we're gonna do our chicken. Now, what we're gonna do with this chicken, a little bit different from the steaks. Before I season this chicken breast, before we season them, we're gonna marinate them. I'm gonna marinate this chicken breast, and that's the secret to getting this chicken breast moist and tender. Okay, we're gonna marinate it, and what I'm gonna marinate it in, I need to wash my rosemary. What I'm gonna marinate it in is balsamic vinegar. Okay, you can buy any brand, it doesn't matter. I tried to go with one that wasn't too expensive, and I've already used it. But what I do is I take and I put it over all of my chicken. And I even want it up under my chicken. And I'm only gonna let it marinate for about 30 minutes. You can do it up to 45 if you like. I just don't want my balsamic vinegar to start cooking my meat. So make sure all of it is covered. Make sure the bottom has some. And as these are marinating, what I'm going to be doing is peeling my potatoes, because we're going to have mashed potatoes tonight. We're going to have some creamy mashed potatoes. This is a simple meal. Doesn't take long to cook. Can have this meal done within an hour. And I'm going to take my rosemary and wash it off, because what I want to do is have some of this rosemary marinate with this meat. I'm going to have some of it marinate in the meat so you'll be able to taste it. I'm just going to take and break it. Put it all over my meat. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to let it sit for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and show you how I sear both my chicken and my steak. Multitask, guys. If you multitask, you can get a lot more done. Isn't that chicken pretty? So I'm going to take and sit this aside. And what I want to show you too is my vegetables. I'm going to be roasting vegetables. And in here I have yellow squash, I have zucchini, I have asparagus, I have Brussels sprouts. I split them in half. I have pearl onions, and I have garlic. And I'm going to take, and I want you to see this. I gotta rinse that pan anyway. What I'm gonna do is take these vegetables. Now these vegetables are gonna take about 35 minutes to cook, okay, in the oven. We're gonna roast them. Just the easy way to get them in there and get them done. So what we're gonna do, we will cover them with olive oil, okay? And I put them in a bowl for right now so that I can mix them up with the olive oil. And we're gonna mix them to be sure that all of them are covered. We're gonna put some salt and pepper, and that's basically it. We got fresh garlic in here, salt, and a good bit of pepper. And then we just take our hands or a spoon, whichever you prefer, mix them up so that that oil gets on all of them. So that it gets on all of it. See that? Isn't that beautiful? These are going to be scrumptious. Yes, they're going to be good. And once I clean this long pan over here, I'm going to dump my vegetables in this pan. I'm going to put my vegetables in this pan. I'm going to lay them out flat so that they're not on top of each other. And I'm going to put them in the oven at 400 degrees and let them cook for about 35 minutes. But when I get all this together, I'm gonna get back on here with you. And like I said, what I'm gonna do now while that chicken is marinating for that 30 minutes, I'm gonna peel and cut up white potatoes for my mashed potatoes. I'll be back. Okay, guys, I got a lot going on in this kitchen right now. And I know I seemed like I was rushing a little bit when I first came on, and I probably was. But I wanted to show you this chicken. It has marinated for the 30 minutes. I've peeled my white potatoes. I got them boiling because the hope is that when I put this chicken and steak in the oven, then I can focus on my mashed potatoes. I wanted to also show you my vegetables. These are my vegetables. And when I take this chicken over to the stove, my fire is burning. Let me get that off the stove. Okay. 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 Don't want a grease fire, right? I turned my stove on thinking I would have this done and that the fire would be hot. So it's gonna be hot. Anyway, I took it off the eye for now, and I'll turn it back on in just a little bit. But again, my vegetables, I'm getting ready to put them in the oven. I'm trying to have everything be done at the same time. Okay, so again, here is our chicken. It has marinated, and what I'm gonna do is take and drain as best I can that balsamic vinegar off of it, because it's in the meat. And no, you will not taste the balsamic vinegar when this is done. And I just drain it off, holding my meat in the pan. And then I'm going to take this clean napkin and just kind of wipe up some of that that's at the bottom. Okay, all in between the meat, I want to wipe it off. Okay, now what I'm going to do, and I can take this rosemary off because I have more. But I want to season my chicken right now. Okay, so we'll put that there. Yeah, I got a lot going on tonight here. But I want you to see this rosemary garlic chicken. I'm telling you, it is the best. I'm going to salt it. And this chicken breast, and I hope you can see it good. This chicken breast was actually large pieces. And so what I did was I took and cut them down so that they all kind of cook the same amount of time, and you know, we have more pieces. At least it seems that way. We have more meat. I'm gonna put just a little bit of seasoning salt because look, I don't know if you use fresh herbs, but fresh herbs, if you use those, you don't need a whole lot of seasoning. I mean, it gives food so much flavor, especially this rosemary. Pepper's gonna make me sneeze. Excuse me. So I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna salt and pepper the other side. And then we're gonna take it over to the stove so that we can sear it. In the same pan that I'm searing this chicken in, I'm gonna put that, it's a skillet, my black skillet. So I'm gonna take that skillet after I sear this on the stove and put it right into the oven. This chicken is only gonna need 15 to 20 minutes to cook in the oven. That's it. The steaks are gonna cook about 25 minutes. So I'm gonna go over to the stove and turn you right back on. Okay guys, my vegetables are in the oven and I'm gonna start putting my meat into this pan because this pan is hot and it is ready for this chicken, and I hope you can see it. Turn it around just a little bit there. That's my chicken, and we just want it to get a good brown on it, a good sear. We're not cooking it, we're just getting a good sear on it. Look at that. That beautiful? Beautiful. Okay, now while that's in there, I'm going to put in some of my mushrooms. And remember, this is rosemary garlic chicken. And this grease is ready for my steak. So I'm going to put that in there as well. Now you don't have to do both of these at the same time like I'm doing. You don't have to do it. You can do one or the other. But I'm doing them both together because I'm going to put some garlic in this chicken. Because it is rosemary garlic. Cut up some garlic in it. All of that is going to go in the oven with it. All of this is going to go in the oven. And I'm putting 4 cloves of garlic in this chicken. Because we want it to be garlicky. And I'm going to throw the rest of that in there. Is that beautiful or what? Now, when the steaks come out, I'm not going to fix them in this pan. When they come out, I got a pan here for the steak. And I'm going to get a bowl for my chicken. In 1 second. So I can get the rest of it in. I'm going to have to take it out and put the rest of it in. See how that chicken is browning already? Look at that. That's how you want it. That is how you want it. It is not burnt. It's just good and brown. Look at that. Oh, that is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Let's get those mushrooms down in there. Absolutely beautiful. So I'll let it brown just a minute more. Look at the steak. They're browning too. They are browning too. Let's turn them up a little bit. I'm going to take that chicken, put it on this plate, and now it's going to go back in the pan when I'm done. Yeah, you got to move fast. But isn't that gorgeous? Look at those mushrooms, how they're cooking. Look at that chicken. And now I'm going to put the rest of my chicken in there. Let that brown a little bit. See how fast this meal is? Oh yeah, you're going to enjoy that. Let that brown up. Turn my steaks over. This one here I'm going to pull out because we're going to finish cooking it in the oven. See, it's brown on the other side as well. I'm going to finish these in the oven. This is my husband's favorite meal. This chicken and steak. His favorite. Let that go just a little bit longer. Look at that. Beautiful. Doesn't get any better than that. It just doesn't. Just a little bit. Got all kind of stuff going on the stove here. And you see my mashed potatoes are here cooking. Now they'll be ready for me to mash when I get my meat in the oven. I'm going to take this steak out. See, all we're doing is browning. That's all we're doing. And I'm going to put the last one in there. This is the big one. This one here is my husband. With the bone. He likes that. Take and turn over my chicken. This is the last bit of the chicken. Look at those mushrooms. Oh, I could have put more garlic in there actually. Now, the searing is almost done. That's just how quick searing is. And what I'm going to do is take and put this other chicken back in here. I'm going to put it back because we're going to take this and put it in the oven right here in this same pan. Put that little piece on top so it doesn't overcook. Look at that. I'm going to turn it off because now it's got to go into the oven. Beautiful. Look at that juice. Look at that juice. Gorgeous. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to put some chicken stock in it. A little bit of chicken stock. A little bit. And what we're going to do is get that into the oven. Look at that steak. I'm frying up something in here, y'all. I'm going to put a piece of aluminum foil on this chicken. And I want you to see it good. I'm going to put a little piece of aluminum foil and I'm going to stick it in the oven. Get a good look at that chicken. Look at that. Beautiful. And remember, we have rosemary in there and we have fresh garlic in there. And we have mushrooms in there. Okay? I'm going to take this last steak out. Hope we have room for it. I have that big steak and then these are not as big. Look at that steak. Yes. Now the steak, we're going to put some onions on top of the steak. I'm going to turn all of this off. Let's put some aluminum foil on that and get it in the oven. Find the aluminum foil. I'm going to find the aluminum foil and come right back. Hey y'all, I'm back. While that chicken and steak is in the oven, I'm going to mash up my potatoes. They are done. See, I try to work where whilst one thing is doing something, I can be working on something else. And I put a whole 5-pound bag of potatoes in here because we're going to eat them. We know we're going to eat them, right? So I'm gonna put a stick of butter. And what I do is I have 2 mashers. I have one to start out with, this kind, to break them down. And then I use this one with all the holes in it once I get them broken down. And what I did was, when they got through cooking, when they were tender, I drained them and I put them right back in this hot pot and set it back on the eye. The eye was turned off, but it's still a little bit hot. So if there's any water left in it, it would dry it up. But I start breaking them down just like this. Start breaking them down. I never use a mixer. You know, why pull out a mixer, dirty it up, when you can use 2 mashers. Okay, so once I've got it kind of broken down, I'm going to take and start adding some milk. Now I have half and half, and I'm probably going to put some regular milk in here too. I didn't pull it out. You just kind of put enough to get it to the consistency that you want it. I'm going to get some regular milk for that as well. And I've probably put a cup of milk in that already. Between a half and half, or close to it anyway. So now I got plenty of milk in here. And what I'm going to do is take my small masher. That's going to make it creamy. This gets all the knots. My potatoes have no knots in it when I'm done. And these potatoes are going to go so good with that rosemary and garlic chicken and that steak. And then we have those roasted vegetables. Remember, they're in the oven. I'll take a peep at them, and they're looking good. They'll be done in a few minutes. I want to come back and show you what this meal looks like. Okay, so I'm going to add just a tad more milk, and I'm going to put some sour cream in these potatoes, as if the butter wasn't enough, right? We're going to eat good tonight. Yes, we are. We're celebrating. And I don't have a spoon right here near me, so I'm just going to use this fork. All works, as long as I get it in there. That's about finished there. I'm going to take and continue mashing gently so you don't make a mess. And I go all around my pot. Those potatoes. Oh. You could put cheese in here if you wanted to. You could put some chives. Look at those creamy mashed potatoes. And my children, my grandbaby that's here with us, love mashed potatoes. Homemade mashed potatoes. I'm a rice girl. They're potato kids. And these potatoes are done. And they are not lumpy. Not one bit. I'm going to get a spoon and stir them up. Get a spoon. Stir them up. And then I'm going to put a lid on them to keep them warm until the meat is done. Look at those beautiful potatoes. Beautiful. Look in that pot. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. They are ready to go. I salted my potatoes when I put them up to cook. Okay, that's done. I'll be back. Okay guys, we're back, and I wanted you to see the chicken. I'm going to plate it up. And I also wanted you to see the vegetables, but we're going to plate up this chicken. my family's ready to eat, y'all. And this chicken literally cooked in the oven for 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And trust, they're gonna eat all of this. Rosemary garlic chicken. Can't forget the mushrooms, right? Can't forget those mushrooms. Okay, let's put this piece here on the end. So if you just make one of these dishes, make the chicken. Promise you, you won't regret it. Beautiful. Beautiful chicken. I'm gonna sit that there. And then we are going to get some of our vegetables up. Might do better with tongs in this too, but that's okay. Remember, we have Brussels sprouts, we have asparagus. We love asparagus in this house. Yes, look at that. Look at that. I'm trying to put a combination here of things. And remember, in here we have the asparagus, the yellow squash, zucchini, pearl onions. I'm gonna sprinkle just a little salt on them, a little bit more. I don't think I really had enough. I'm kind of light-handed when it comes to seasoning. Always afraid I'm gonna get too much. Okay, I think that will work. Time to eat. And what I'm going to do really quick, if you bear with me, I am going to show you our dining room table. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm done. And it literally took me about an hour, not including my marinating time. But I wanted you to see our table. We're gonna act like we're in a restaurant tonight, okay? But this is our Valentine's table. Remember that cake I made? And there's the food. We have our steaks here. See if I can bring you a little bit closer without dropping the camera. There's our steaks. And of course, that's our chicken. We have a little wine. Yes, we do. My husband bought some roses. We fixed up the table with the roses. We're gonna come over here. There's our vegetables. We have some cupcakes and chocolate covered strawberries. You know, we wanna make the kids happy too. And of course, here we have some mashed potatoes here. There's the mashed potatoes in that dish. So we're going to enjoy our dinner, guys. And I want to say to you, if you're sharing an anniversary with my husband and me, happy anniversary. I know a lot of people get married on Valentine's Day. And if you're not, I want to say happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. Get in there and cook something quick and make it fun. Include the kids. You can do that, and it doesn't take much. Just throw a few things on the table, make it look pretty, and enjoy yourself. We're going to eat tonight as if we're out, and we're going to enjoy it, and I want you to enjoy yours. See you next video. And remember, like my videos, share my videos, and subscribe. Bye-bye.